Hey, what's going on, yo? I'm just trying to pass on some knowledge for cluster disassembly. This is specifically for if you gotta take needles off. You know, take these little speedometer, all these needles and shit off. If you disassembled in a cluster before, or if you're doing that right now, there's some tips for you. I personally had to take off this cluster so I could service this LED bulb. Had to solder back LED bulb on this motherboard on this cluster. So to do that, I had to take off these needles, take off this faceplate, whatever you want to call it. So all these other needles like coolant, speedometer, tachometer, you can find that out with a scanner with the CPU, ECU, whatever the fuck you can find that out based on a scanner reading. But this fuel gauge is damn near impossible to figure out where it's supposed to be for real. So what I would recommend to you, if you're going to take off these needles, is get your car, put it on the on position, get that needle to be where it needs to be. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't have to be running, just get it on so it's reading where it needs to be, and then take a picture of that so that when you pop it off and go to pop it back on, you know where it needs to be. So when you go to pop it back on, you're gonna plug the cluster back in, and then wait a couple seconds, you know, wait for it until you're sure it's stable where it's supposed to be reading, and then use your picture and then put that needle back right exactly where you took the picture of it, so that you're sure where that, you know, where it's reading where it's supposed to be. If you need to put the speedo back on, you know, use a scanner, use a shop scanner, a tablet, you know, put that shit up in the air, you know what I mean, and run that shit at 20 miles an hour. Let the scanner tell you is the car thinks it's going 20 miles an hour, and you put this needle, pop it back on there at the 20 mark. Same shit with that. Same shit with the heat gauge, the heat gauge and everything. That's okay, but the fuel gauge is pretty difficult, so do that. Also, if you got a faceplate on here, it might touch up against the back of the needle. That'll give it like some drag. You don't want any drag, so what I did with these needles, I just put it on a little bit, you know what I mean, I just popped them on a little bit and push them all the way in. If you push them all the way in, it's going to be dragging against the faceplate, so just put them on a little bit, make sure there's no drag, then the needles can move perfectly on their own type shit. And yeah, I tried to explain that best I could. I'm not doing no disassembly in this video, just wanted to pass on some knowledge, some things I wish I'd known. But yeah, sorry you got to deal with this shit. Good luck to you.